And a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talking Sport Tasmania with thanks to St Luke's Health. Great to have your company on this Thursday night. We've got a packed show tonight. It was a big one last week, of course, with, record audience for us as well, with some great guests on there, including Eddie Ockenden and Tim Payne. And we've got plenty of sport to get you through on this Thursday night. For all the soccer parents out there, stand by to learn a little bit more about an all-new soccer program that has come to Tasmania. It is specifically aimed at children aged between 2 and 12, and we'll learn a little bit more about that very shortly. We're going to cross to Hobart, catch up with our regular basketball correspondent, Ronald Biggs. Plenty happening, of course, in the basketball world, but the NBL1 team not too far away, the Hobart Chargers, will focus on them tonight after we chatted with the Northwest Thunder a couple of weeks ago as well. We're going to catch up with a local footy legend. He's going to put the boots back on this weekend for Relive the Rivalry. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a very big gig down there, Dial Park in Penguin. And we're going to meet a father and daughter who next week are going to be taking part in one tough challenge, but it is for a great cause. It's for St Giles. It is the Balfour Burn, happening next Friday night in Launceston. We'll learn a bit more about that. And of course, our very popular Rexall Mad Minute. It is back this week once again with thanks to the Little Rivers Brewery Bar. Dan Taylor, he is back. He is ready to go. We got a different topic this week. It was cricket last week. Dan, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Look, Rick, this is so good, this golden ale. I'm going to open that live. That is a Little Rivers special, straight from Tasmania, Scottsdale to be in fact. That is fruit-driven golden ale with intense tropical fruit flavour. But it's been a big week of sport, mate. Did you enjoy the women's T20?
It was absolutely sensational, Dan. Absolutely loved it. And they nearly broke the world record for the biggest attendance in history for a women's sporting event. 86,000, just short of the 90,000.
Unbelievable,
it was great, wasn't it?
mate. And it was great to see Katy Perry and the girls singing at the end, and the fact that they were dancing around and singing horribly off key was that's what sport's all about, and that's what I'll be doing at the end of the show, drinking a bit of this and singing off key.
A couple of good movers and shakers too, weren't there?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good dance moves. It was a bit like Jack Rewalt back in the day with the Killers.
Yes.
So it was wonderful to see the girls win, and especially on International Women's Day. Really good.
Indeed. We're looking forward to the Rexall Mad Minute, of course. In the firing line tonight are going to be our soccer guests, so we're looking forward to those 10 questions. We're going to have a quick break. When we come back, it is going to be soccer. We're going to learn all about a brand new program here in Tassie.
Oh, she looks just like me.
So how are you today? Every aspect of your life is connected to your health. That's why Snug connects everything about your health in one simple app. Snug, all your health in one place.
At DLM Machinery, we don't muck around. When you've got a big job, we have the machine to get it done. We are Tasmania's distributor for your earth moving and construction equipment needs with all top industry brands. Call in and see us today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
Rexall has been servicing the electrical industry for over 50 years globally. With electrical products and solutions for any project, big or small, Rexall has the brands and services you can trust. Our modern showrooms and friendly, knowledgeable staff are here to assist your needs. With 5 locations across Tasmania, call in today to discuss your requirements.
And welcome back to Talking Sport Tasmania. Great to have you with us on this Thursday night. Well, as we say regularly on the show, we like to promote all sports. And tonight we're going to talk about a new one that's aimed at kids between the ages of 2 and 12. Now, Thousands of kids, we know, play soccer every week during the season here in Tasmania. And tonight we're going to chat about Grasshopper Soccer. It is the #1 non-competitive soccer program in Australia. And David and Tania Mankdalo, head coach and coach from Grasshopper Soccer, have joined us here in the studio tonight. Guys, good to see you. How you doing?
Thanks for having us, Rick.
So what made you guys get involved in this?
I played soccer when I was a bit younger. I suppose the #1 thing that I saw was the #1 non-competitive soccer program. So that really interested me about that point of view about the soccer. So I rang up the guy in Blake Brinklow in Perth and went over there and learned everything about it. So, yeah.
And Tania, for you, in terms of the program, give us a little bit of an idea of what it's all about, what it entails.
So basically every child has a ball on their foot, so which is really great because when you play soccer, not every kid has a ball on their foot. Non-competitive, and it's more a social improvement area.
So we've got a bit of footage that we'll show while we're having a chat here to give our viewers a bit of an indication on how the sport actually goes, and as we can see here. But look, we know that thousands of kids play soccer here in Tasmania. So is it aimed at the kids that are already playing? Can they take part in a program like this? Like, what market are you looking to try and get here?
It's basically market to try to just get kids back into sport, basically. But you talk about the kids that play soccer. Some kids do that. What they found over in the mainland, some kids that have gone through this Grasshopper Soccer program then go on to club soccer. But what they find, they tell their mum and dads, I want to do my club soccer, but I want to go and play Grasshopper Soccer still because of the fun environment. So there are drills in the game, but it's all about fun and trying to get the kids' imagination and so forth. So it's just not about soccer's used as a tool for a lot of other things. So yeah.
So Tania, do you think this is a way, because we see people are very competitive by nature in a lot of different sports. Do you think there's a market out there for the kids that, particularly as parents say, look, yeah, might only be a sport that they do for a period of time or for a few years, and they really don't have that sense of wanting to go to that extra level? Do you think that's a fair assessment in how it would work and appeal?
Actually, because of the non-competitive side of it, some kids just want to go. They might not be as talented, and so they just go along for the fun and the social development side of it. So, yeah, definitely.
Do you teach them how to dive, Dave? Because we see some amazing dives in the sport of soccer.
You have muck around with that, yeah. You talk about diving, yeah. So you've actually got to be careful because they might dive head first and hurt themselves. So do a lot of things like that. There's things about traffic lights and so forth, and about how you relate to that to putting your foot on the ball. So do a lot of things, fun things that probably soccer coaches never heard of. So,
sure.
Yeah.
And in terms of where you're offering this, is this in the north of the state? Is it statewide? Are you mobile? Do you go to where they are?
Currently, it would be the northeast. So hope to take it down to the northwest and down the south. But at the moment, lucky enough to be the first in Tasmania up in the north, which is nice to think as well. So.
Now, a man who does like kicking the ball around, footy and soccer ball, Dan?
That's right, Rick. My nickname was Cinderella because I always ran away from the ball when it came to soccer. But I've got a question for you, David, because I just noticed on your forearm there, you've got a bit of ink.
Yes.
Is that the lyrics and music to The Cup of Life by Ricky Martin?
No, it's not.
What is it?
No, it's actually a wedding song. So,
Oh.
yeah, so there you are. So,
Which was The Cup of Life by
Yeah,
Ricky Martin.
yes.
Oh, very good.
We should have been. Yeah.
Should have been. Oh, what was your wedding song?
You Say Nothing All from Ronan Keating.
Oh,
You say
like
best.
You say there's nothing. Yes.
It's amazing how you can see. Sorry, that was Barry Gibb. Continue.
How the heck did we transition
I don't know.
get to that level? Oh, dear me. Righto, getting back on track. Grasshopper Soccer, for anyone that wants to find out about it, how's the best way? Where can they find out some info?
If you go to Grasshopper soccer.com, you'll see the website. You'll see we have a page. Click on Tassie.
Yep.
We have got a couple of sites coming. We'll be having one Riverside. We're looking to have one at Mowbray as well. You'll see it goes through terms, 8 weeks. So we go across, and that's another thing about soccer. We go right across the whole year, so it's not seasonal.
Yep.
And you'll keep an eye out too. We've been talking to some schools for after school care as well. So,
Oh, brilliant,
yes.
brilliant. Well, that solves a lot of issues for parents as well, which is great. That it's more than just the sport. You've got some after school care and great healthy activities as well.
Yes.
Guys, thanks for coming in. Obviously, we'll have all the details up here on our show, and as it's a podcast as well, people have got it all the time. So we will share it to our heart's content. So thank you for coming in, but I don't let you guys go very easily because we got a segment that we love to play every week, and we always choose a couple of suckers to come on this segment. And tonight it's your turn because we haven't covered soccer for this. With thanks to Rexel, it is the Man Minute, and this is where I hand over to Dan behind the bar.
All right, David, Tania, you're experts on soccer. Obviously, Grasshopper Soccer, the best, but this is world game soccer.
Yes.
It's named football if you don't know the terminology behind it. But you are playing for first prize. Guess what? A David Boone autobiography, personally signed by him. Check this out. That's pretty amazing. Dear Dan, thank you for the love. Officially David Boone. Definitely not one of my mates that did that. You're playing for a collared singlet. So if you're intermediate, if you go all right in this quiz, that's a Colsey. So that's a coloured singlet with style. So you look pretty bogan, but also schmick at the same time. And if you're a novice, a rubber chicken. So that is poultry in motion. I'll throw that to you, Rick. But you've got 10 questions, 60 seconds on the clock, and your time officially starts now. Who is the all-time top goal scorer for the Socceroos?
Tim Cahill.
Correct. What A-League team shares its name with a Katy Perry song?
Brisbane Roar.
Yes. What is the nickname for the national women's team in soccer?
Julius.
Yes. What is your favourite Roald Dahl book?
What's his name? Giant Peach.
Probably. I was going to go Matilda as well. What is Australia's national anthem?
That's Australia Fair.
No, Kaysan. What is a ghost's favourite soccer position?
Oh, wing attack. Wing attack.
Goalkeeper. If soccer was played in Westeros, what would it be called? Game of throw-ins. What football team has used the most toilet paper over the last few weeks?
Manchester City.
No, that's Arsenal. What football team enjoys bed linen? You almost got it.
Manchester City.
Manchester, of course. Which soccer player never cleans up after they've spilled Lego everywhere?
Robbie Fowler.
Lionel Messi. Oh, geez, we're not right. Actually, I think that's officially the
It's probably the singlet.
Oh, look, I'll throw in David Boone's under the Southern Cross. You did do pretty well.
Fantastic.
Congratulations. Those both are yours. And well
thank
done.
you.
Great.
Rexel, they're the best.
Yeah, thank you to Rexel. Good questions too, by the way.
Yeah, some of them didn't make any sense
no, they
whatsoever.
didn't. But anyway, that's what we want. Element of surprise. Thanks for having a bit of fun too, David and Tania, and telling us all about Grasshopper Soccer, and we hope it all goes well.
Really appreciate your time, Rick. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks so much.
That is it. Grasshopper Soccer. Well, obviously you'll see all the links to it there and get on and check it all out. Time for a quick break. We're going to catch up with Scotty Stevens after the break to talk about his role in Relive the Rivalry this weekend.
Oh, she looks just like me.
So how are you, Shane? Every aspect of your life is connected to your health. That's why Snug connects everything about your health in one simple app. Snug, all your health in one place.
At DLM Machinery, we don't muck around. When you've got a big job, we have the machine to get it done. We are Tasmania's distributor for your earth moving and construction equipment needs with all top industry brands. Call in and see us today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
Rexel has been servicing the electrical industry for over 50 years globally. With electrical products and solutions for any project, big or small, Rexel has the brands and services you can trust. Our modern showrooms and friendly, knowledgeable staff are here to assist your needs. With 5 locations across Tasmania, call in today to discuss your requirements.
Tasmania, what makes us number one? We're committed to helping you stay healthy, get well and live better. And we support your brightest minds and highest achievers. These are just 2 of the reasons why our members voted us number 1 in Australia for customer satisfaction 2 years in a row. We're St Luke's Health. We're your number 1 health insurer. Talk to us today.
Well, this Saturday we'll see plenty of our former footballing greats from Tassie and also from Victoria. They're going to make their way to beautiful Dial Park in Penguin when Tasmania take on the Victorian All-Stars. Now, one man is going to be making his debut in the 8th instalment of Relive the Rivalry. Joins us now. He's achieved just about everything he has in footy. I'll reel off a few things here. 300 plus senior games of footy, including the TSL, NTFL, NTFA, Tassie Mariner, co-captain of the Tassie Devils in the VFL, NTFL, TSL Premiership player, best and fairest with Launceston, playing coach in the TSL. I've probably missed a whole heap, but Scotty Stevens, nice to see you again, mate. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
Any important details I've left off there?
Oh, a bit over my head, mate. No.
Right. Okay. How's the body, I guess, firstly? I mean, how long has it been since you've played footy? I know you had a bit of a stint with Evandale, I think, when you wrapped things up in the TSL, but have you been training for this?
No, that's one thing that I've probably missed. I haven't really put the boots on too much. The boys out at North haven't let me dive into training over the pre-season, so they've told me to get off to the side. So no, I haven't really done too much training. Nowadays, I just ride a bike. That sort of keeps me relatively fit. Yeah, keeps the weight off.
How much have you been to? Have you seen to Relive the Rivalry before? Like, do you know what to expect?
Not really. I've got a few mates that have played in it, and they've told me it's obviously really good fun. It's probably more what they get up to in the bar afterwards and telling stories and just catching up with former teammates and opposition players is probably what it's down to. Yeah.
Couple of players that you potentially could be lining up on the weekend. Dane Swan might be one of them, and recently retired Ben McGlynn. A couple of handy players there. So what are you hoping for?
Yeah, probably a little bit more interchange time, so I don't have to chase those guys. But obviously, yeah, some great players coming down. They've had great AFL careers, and it's great that they're supporting this event down here. Obviously, it's the 20-year reunion as well from when Tassie played the VFL at North Hobart Oval, so yeah, looking forward to it.
I think we've got a pic of the Tasmanian Relive the Rivalry jumper for this year that you'll be donning on the weekend. There it is there, but they look absolutely sensational, and the Vics have got a great one as well. But great to see that the Tassie logo and the big T in there is still there on jumpers, because it brings back a lot of memories for people.
Yeah, it certainly does. Forks at LRF Sports done a fantastic job putting those together. So, we're really looking forward to putting them on this weekend.
You touched on your involvement in footy, so tell us about your role today. You're down at North Launceston?
Yeah, been there for 2 years. This is my 3rd year this year, alongside Taylor Whitford and the boys. So, helped out the midfield the first year, but been doing some work with the backs the last 2 years, and obviously Taylor being a playing coach. With the other assistants, we try and run game day as best as we possibly can.
Did you cop a bit of a ribbing, Launceston boy for a long time, and then crossed over the other side of the Tamer?
Yeah, you do cop a little bit, but it's business as usual. The opportunity was there when Lonnie didn't have that opportunity, so I took it, and that's just the way it was. So
one of the great cliches, business as usual. At least you didn't say 1 week at a time. Getting back to Relive the Rivalry, we'll pop up the details in a moment as well as to what's happening on the weekend. But it's a great lineup. We've got NWFL match between Penguin taking on University from Old Scholars Association down in Hobart. And then it's a women's game, South Launceston, the reigning premiers in the NTFA women's, against Devonport at 2:30. And then you guys will be taking to the field at 4:30. But some great players there. Mickey O'Loughlin, Brad Sewell's there as well, and Dan Taylor's favourite player, Ange Christou, You'd be very happy about Ange taking part.
Hopefully he does play on you, Scotty, I reckon, out there, because one of the greats of all time for the Carlton 1995 Premiership team, and they say Wolf every time he kicked it. Did anyone call you any nicknames during your time, or did anyone yell out every time you got a kick?
Oh, it was more the abuse from over the other side of the fence, not so much the players.
Oh, right, a little bit of that.
All the opposition parents, yeah.
Oh, right, from the parents.
Oh, yeah. Scathing.
Scathing.
And what was the worst injury you did during your time playing footy?
Oh, I've had a few. I never ran fast enough to tear any muscles, but I've broken pretty much every bone in the body. Jaws, cheekbones, eye sockets.
All right.
Done a lot.
Might do an Achilles this weekend then.
Well, the plan is to hopefully get through unscathed. So
just sit in the pocket, don't move.
Yeah. We're looking forward to the interchange time, and I'll make sure the oranges are cut for the boys.
Warm the pine.
That's it.
Like
Scuba was a very popular nickname, though, wasn't it? Where'd that come from?
Adam Sandler movie, actually.
Oh, yes.
Scuba Steve, yeah. Big Daddy it was, yeah. Our schoolmates back in '98, I think I inherited that one.
Stuck ever since. It's a great event that's coming up, obviously, down in Penguin. We encourage everyone to get there because you'll see a lot of the former greats as well. But Beyond Blue is the charity and supporting which is a great cause, obviously. And I know what James Wiggins has done in creating this many years ago, and this is the 8th version of it. It's all the players, no one gets paid, and even Ange Christou doesn't get paid, even though he was a superstar, according to Dan. But it is a great thing that in terms of that everyone can sort of come together and play sport, have a bit of fun, but at the same time not worry about getting paid any money. It's a good thing.
That's right, absolutely. And the boys really look forward to coming together and having a beer and sharing those stories. And if you can do that for a good cause, then it's a win-win.
Play's very accessible as well to spectators post-game always as well. You haven't played at Dial Park before, have you? Because it's obviously a fairly new facility, but it is, having been there fairly recently, it is magnificent. You're looking forward to having a bit of a run on there?
Yeah, always look forward to good services the older that you get. So I haven't been back to Penguin since I reckon it was 2008 when they were at the old ground there. So it'd be good to check out the new facilities, definitely.
Yeah, that was a small ground too down there at Penguin. Yeah, exactly. Look, great to catch up, Scotty, and good to see that you're involved. And that's the great thing about Relive the Rivalry, that every year we've got new players that are going to make their debut. So have fun out there, enjoy the bench, because by the sounds of it, you'd like to spend a fair bit of time out there. But we hope you do get out there and get a little bit muddy.
That's it, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No worries. That's Scotty Stevens joining us here on Talking Sport Tasmania. 4:30, the main game gets underway. Dial Park in Penguin. Head to Relive the Rivalry Facebook page as well for more details. Quick break. We'll talk basketball when we come back.
At DLM Machinery, we don't muck around. When you've got a big job, we have the machine to get it done. We are Tasmania's distributor for your earth moving and construction equipment needs with all top industry brands. Call in and see us today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
Rexel has been servicing the electrical industry for over 50 years globally. With electrical products and solutions for any project, big or small, Rexel has the brands and services you can trust. Our modern showrooms and friendly, knowledgeable staff are here to assist your needs. With 5 locations across Tasmania, call in today to discuss your requirements.
Hi, my name is Josh Burke and I'm an exercise physiologist working at PhysioTas in Launceston. Cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of death for Australians. Most of us know the big risk factors for cardiovascular disease: smoking, excessive weight, diabetes, high cholesterol. But did you know one of the main risk factors is physical inactivity? Physically active individuals are 50% less likely to suffer a fatal heart attack, and studies have shown exercise can reduce hospital readmissions in those that have cardiovascular disease by 56%. Exercise promotes blood vessel dilation, which reduces high blood pressure. It reduces the development of clots, it protects the heart from arrhythmias, and it makes the heart pump more efficiently. Exercise also improves cholesterol levels, blood sugar levels, your metabolism, and your mood. So how should someone with cardiovascular disease start being more physically active? The Heart Foundation recommends 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic activities like walking, swimming, cycling and dancing most days of the week, and muscle strengthening exercises at least 2 days a week. It is safe and recommended to complete higher intensity exercise as well as low intensity exercises. If you're unsure where to start, See an exercise physiologist and discuss how to safely and effectively exercise for your heart health.
Well, it is just over a month before the start of the NBL 1 season. Of course, we're right in the middle of the NBL finals at the moment with the Perth Wildcats and the Sydney Kings. So after catching up with the Northwest Thunder a couple of weeks ago, we thought we'd turn our attention to the Hobart Chargers men's and women's team. And joining us tonight is our good friend and new regular here on Talking Sport Tasmania, Ronald Biggs, who I'm pleased to say joins us on the line. Ronald, g'day mate, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Rick.
Fantastic. Look, thanks for joining us. There's plenty to talk about in basketball, and we might just get a bit of feedback from you on the NBL announcement. But let's begin with the Hobart Chargers and maybe with the women's team, because tell you what, they've got some pretty decent signings. I mean, obviously Taylor Roberts is there, Kathleen Shear, but Shyla Hill we talked about before, but also Sarah O'Neill. She had a fantastic season with the Launceston Tornadoes, and she's made the journey down the highway for this year.
Certainly has, Rick. I mean, I mentioned in our Chargers social media show that we've kind of nabbed the 200 k's down the highway and brought her here to Hobart. It's a great signing for us here at the Hobart Chargers, and I know Coach Nass is absolutely ecstatic about that signing. So we're really looking forward to what Sarah can bring. She had a really good rookie season last season with the Launceston Tornadoes. A very versatile type of player, so she's going to bring a lot to the women's program.
How did that signing come about? How did that manage to? And did you find out what did the deal?
I would say Coach Nash would have had a list of people that he targeted, and obviously Sarah must have been on that list. Now, I don't know the full story behind that. I mean, we're still working our way through, but I think with the signings that Mark got before we got Sarah, I think maybe that could entice Sarah to come down here a little bit. Again, I can only speculate there, but we're just happy to have her.
We're happy to have her. Listen to him. Now, it's going to add a bit of spice to when the Tornadoes come up against the Hobart Chargers down there in Hobart during the season, that's for sure. We're going to run a little bit of vision of the women's as well, but the side itself, it looks like a really strong squad for season 2020.
Shyla Hill, Kathleen Shearer, Taylor Roberts, Sarah O'Neill, Shana Thompson. That's pretty much near starting five, right on the money right there, Rick. So, and then we have our locals as well too. I'm sure Coach Nash will announce that over the coming weeks who those locals will be. But a very strong starting five, and it will have a little bit of depth there in the bench as well too. So I think this women's team is looking at a top 8 spot by the time we get to the end of round 16 in NBL 1.
Yep, it's going to be fantastic. So now looking at the men's, of course, Anthony Stewart back as head coach this year following the demise of the Southern Huskies. What are you expecting from them this year?
Well, we just made a couple of announcements last Friday, Rick, where Tad Duffelmeyer, who played with the Hobart Huskies in the NBL 1 competition, is returning to Hobart this season. And we've also picked up Christian Churlina, who's a former development player at the Cairns Taipans and was recommended by former Chargers player in Craig Moller. So there's some good raps around Christian, and we know what Tad can bring to the table. Tad was one of the dominant point guards in NBL 1 last season, just averaging on 20 points a game and really helping a young local talent, which kind of, spurred that Hobart team one win off the top 8. So really happy to have Tad back and great to have Christian on board coming up for season 2020.
One of the best surnames in basketball, Duffelmeyer. That's almost sounds like a German beer brand.
It sounds like it, but his dad actually used to play for the Canberra Cannons back in the NBL. Yep. It was quite a potent player back in those late 80s, early 90s. So Tad's a bit of a chip off the old block to his dad. I was lucky enough to meet his dad last season when he come down to watch some games. And, Tad will bring a lot to the table, and he's gunning for that an NBL spot. I mean, he's had some time with the Cairns Taipans this year as a development player, saw some court time, and has really thrived on that experience. So no doubt he'll bring that into our men's program this season.
No better time for him to try and show his exploits down here for an NBL spot. Dan, behind the Little Rivers Brewery Bar, has got a question for you, Ronald.
Yeah, that's right, Ronald. If you ever need a wing attack or a goal defence, I'm your guy. It is big news with 2021. Tasmania's getting their own side. Any chance of the Turbo Chooks being the name?
Well, there's a few names floating around, isn't it? There's a lot of suggestions happening on social media, Dan, and that type of thing. So, I mean, it'd be right up there. I mean, but I don't think it will be the name. But certainly it could be added to the list of where we know that Larry Kesselman has said publicly that he'll put it to the fans here in Tasmania and the community to decide the name for the Tasmanian team.
So, as a fan, Ronald, what's your choice of team name?
After looking at them all, Rick, obviously there's a few that we can't have because of everyone's asking if we can bring the Devils name back, but unfortunately the AFL have kind of just put that to the side and say no. I'm thinking the Islanders. I'm thinking if we can do a bit of a throwback there, and you know we had the Islanders back in the WNBL as our Tassie team. I think the Islanders might have a good fit in that men's team.
And definitely we'll have something like Tassie or Tasmania in the forefront, no doubt.
Absolutely. Larry has said that all along, that Tasmania has to be included in that. So I think, it has to be Tasmanian something. So obviously we're just coming up with the nickname for it. And I think it'd be great to see what fans do vote on when we do have a list come out over the next couple of months.
It's going to be fantastic. And the NBL 1 season, not too far away either, Ronald. As always, terrific to catch up. Thanks for bringing us up to speed on what looks like being a pretty exciting season for our men's and women's teams from down south with the Hobart Chargers. Great to talk to you as always.
Thanks very much, Rick.
That's Ronald Biggs joining us thanks to Basketball Tasmania, and we'll be catching up with him regularly throughout 2020 here on Talking Sport Tasmania, particularly with the NBL 1 season only a few weeks away. Time for a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk about a big event that's going to be held on a very, very steep street. I know Dan's training for it. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
Oh, she looks just like me.
So how are you feeling? Every aspect of your life is connected to your health. That's why Snug connects everything about your health in one simple app. Snug, all your health in one place.
At DLM Machinery, we don't muck around. When you've got a big job, we have the machine to get it done. We are Tasmania's distributor for your earth moving and construction equipment needs with all top industry brands. Call in and see us today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
Rexel has been servicing the electrical industry for over 50 years globally. With electrical products and solutions for any project, big or small, Rexel has the brands and services you can trust. Our modern showrooms and friendly, knowledgeable staff are here to assist your needs. With 5 locations across Tasmania, call in today to discuss your requirements.
And welcome back to Talking Sport Tasmania. Great to have your company once again with thanks to St Luke's Health. Very shortly, we're going to tell you about an event that is coming back to the streets of Launceston. Well, in particular to one street, and that is Balfour Street. And for those of you who are familiar with it, of course, you will know exactly how steep that is. I think it's about a 23% gradient at its worst peak. But we'll catch up with Jonty Barnett and young Emma, 9-year-old, very shortly here on the show. Don't forget, coming up this week as well, it is Relive the Rivalry down at Penguin, and plenty of great action happening down there as well. And we've got all the other winter sports that are going to be starting very shortly as well. We're going to be focusing on soccer and next week netball as well, because the State League netball season got underway last weekend right around the state. So next week on the show we will feature the Netball Tasmania State League. That'll be coming up very shortly. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, Jonty and Emma will join us here on the show.
Oh, she looks just like me.
So how are you today? Every aspect of your life is connected to your health. That's why Snug connects everything about your health in one simple app. Snug, all your health in one place.
At DLM Machinery, we don't muck around. When you've got a big job, we have the machine to get it done. We are Tasmania's distributor for your earth moving and construction equipment needs with all top industry brands. Call in and see us today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
Rexel has been servicing the electrical industry for over 50 years globally. With electrical products and solutions for any project, big or small, Rexel has the brands and services you can trust. Our modern showrooms and friendly, knowledgeable staff are here to assist your needs. With 5 locations across Tasmania, call in today to discuss your requirements.
Hi, my name is Josh Burke and I'm an exercise physiologist working at PhysioTas in Launceston. Cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of death for Australians. Most of us know the big risk factors for cardiovascular disease: smoking, excessive weight, diabetes, high cholesterol. But did you know one of the main risk factors is physical inactivity? Physically active individuals are 50% less likely to suffer a fatal heart attack, and studies have shown exercise can reduce hospital readmissions in those that have cardiovascular disease by 56%. Exercise promotes blood vessel dilation, which reduces high blood pressure. It reduces the development of clots, it protects the heart from arrhythmias, and it makes the heart pump more efficiently. Exercise also improves cholesterol levels, blood sugar levels, your metabolism, and your mood. So how should someone with cardiovascular disease start being more physically active? The Heart Foundation recommends 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic activities like walking, swimming, cycling and dancing most days of the week, and muscle strengthening exercises at least 2 days a week. It is safe and recommended to complete higher intensity exercise as well as low intensity exercises. If you're unsure where to start, see an exercise physiologist and discuss how to safely and effectively exercise for your heart health.
And welcome back to Talking Sport Tasmania. Well, next Friday night, the 20th of March, hundreds of runners pram pushers, dog walkers, cyclists, you name it, just about every section is covered. It is the Balfour Burn for St Giles. It's going to be happening up Balfour Street, funnily enough, on that night. It's going to be fantastic. Races get underway at 5 p.m. Now, someone who has been a part of this event is back after a bit of a rest. I think 3 years it's been off for. But Jonty Barnett is here with 9-year-old Emma, and you guys have been a very important part of this. And, of course, St Giles, Jonty, for you, plays a very, very important role to your family.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, St Giles have been a great support for our family over the years with the journey with Emma with her cerebral palsy, and just been a fantastic support not only for Emma but for the family as well. So we just try and support them wherever we possibly can.
How important is it for the community to get behind an event like this? Because we know St Giles have been around for over 80 years now, but they contribute a lot and obviously do an enormous amount for your family. But just how important is St Giles in Tasmania?
Oh, look, I mean, they fill the gap. I mean, there's the NDIS funding, which is available, of course, which we hear about in the news, but St Giles fill a major gap in the community that people just don't realise, that there are so many families that really access their facilities and their services that, if we weren't there, I mean, I don't know where they'd go. So it's awesome, yeah.
We've seen some amazing sights over the years of the Balfour Burn, and we may have an image we're going to pop up shortly, but one of the greatest images, lasting images I have, is Dom Moneypenny going up there in a wheelchair on his own. I've never seen it. It was one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the strength to be able to do that and be able to hold going up, it's just incredible, So, and it is a steep hill. I mean, we've been up there with Emma a couple of times already, and we're going to be doing a few more between now and next Friday. So, a huge effort.
Now, Emma, this is pretty cool. This you'd almost have to call this a bike, wouldn't you? It's going to be a fair bit of fun. Dad going to push you up there next Friday night, is he?
Yeah, he's going to push me up it.
Fantastic. Now, St Giles, as I said, have been fantastic for you as well. And going in an event like this, it must be great to see so many people not only helping you, but helping everyone else that has to go to St Giles.
Yeah.
And you're going to have you're going to be bossy to Dad next Friday night when he has to push you up the hill. You're going to tell him to go faster.
Probably.
He's pretty fit though, isn't he?
Yeah.
It is going to be a lot of fun, and people can still enter, so just head to stgiles.org.au and you will see the link on their homepage. It's not too late to enter. For all those NCFA football clubs out there, men and women's, they've got segments as well. Dan, we might just get you to jump in here. How's your training been going?
It's going well. I did my Achilles twice, just walking up it, but I believe there's a pram section, which I think I could probably win. You won it before, so I reckon I could do it too because I'm an elite athlete. But it's a 43% incline, isn't it? Do you start to feel the burn, the Balfour burn?
Yeah, I certainly do. It's 23%, Dan. Not that I like to. 43% is, but it is 23. You do. Up the top of there, you really do feel the burn. That last, especially the last half of the last section of Balfour Street is, pretty significant. So, yeah.
It is really tough, but it is at least starting at 5 p.m. So if it is a warm day, things will cool down. But there's plenty of fun for everyone as well. We're going to have, I know we've got plenty of local businesses that have gotten involved. I think Willie Tatchell and Van Diemen Brewing have got some special brewed beer for the evening as well. So plenty of fun and entertainment for people to get along.
Yep, yeah, there are plenty of spot prizes. There's, we've got a Balfour brew, thanks to Will. And so we'll be selling those, but also part of some gift prizes going away and some eskies and all sorts of other support from so many amazing businesses around town to try and help us raise some money. But as much about the awareness of St Giles and what they do for the community and how important they are for Launceston. As general, really, not just Launceston.
Absolutely. Great Balfour Burn running tops as well. Emma's Dairy Tasmania, aptly named Emma's Dairy.
Yeah, it is. Look, we through through West Haven Dairy or Tasmania's West Haven, they make a yogurt for us called Emma's Dairy, and we sell that through a distribution network that I'm involved with, and we donate 5 cents and 10 cents from the two different sizes back to St Giles every year. So just our little way of been trying to give a little bit back for what they do and support us.
You certainly do a lot for the community and for St Giles. So as I mentioned, it's not too late to enter. Get onto the St Giles website and click on the link to follow that as well. It is going to be a lot of fun, and I think we've got a few footy clubs entered as well. So plenty of people can come there, have fun. We've got you convinced yet now that we know that it's not 43%, it's 23%.
Yeah. Well, I was just averaging it up because it felt like that to me, I think. So I've been doing steps. I've been listening to the band Steps as well, just for the Balfour Burn. But I will be wearing 2 moon boots on the day.
Fantastic. And I'll tell you what, I've got my singlet. I'm ready to go next Friday night. I look horrendous in it, and you'll see why when you look at the upper arms, but not like this man. But look, Jonty, yeah, there we go. Thank you for coming in. Emma, good luck next Friday night. We hope it goes well.
Yeah.
And guys, get on board. Help St Giles. They're a great organisation, 80 years young. We need them to continue, so we need all your support. So thanks again, Jonty.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate that.
That is just about all the time we've got for you on Talking Sport Tasmania tonight. It has been a big night. We've had all sorts of guests, all sorts of sports, and as I said at the top of the show, that's what it is all about. So have a great sporting weekend. We look forward to doing it all again next week on Thursday night.